Alright, this is my Psychology and Film project by Logan Moose. The movie that I'm doing this assignment over is The 25th Hour, and the main character which I will be analyzing is named Monty or Montgomery Brogan. The movie is filmed in New York, and the main character, Monty, has just been given a prison sentence of 7 years for dealing drugs. Throughout the movie, Monty is trying to make the most of his last hours before going off to prison, and he is doing so by spending time with those who are of great importance to him. He is undoubtedly worried about going to prison, hence some of the irrational or odd decisions he makes, which manifest his personality disorder. Now we will analyze each of the big 5 traits for Monty. The first trait is openness, which looks at the level of interest someone has in new experiences or new ideas, as well as how imaginative, original, and curious he or she might be. In my opinion, Monty exhibits more openness, and I came to this conclusion because of his job of being a drug dealer, therefore being more on the thrill-seeking side of the spectrum. Additionally, his friends would always describe him as a smart individual, which is ironic considering his profession. However, this leads me to believe he's more on the openness side. The next of the big 5 personality traits is conscientiousness, which pertains to how planned, organized, orderly, hardworking, controlled, persevering, punctual, and ambitious someone may be. It would be easy to say that Monty would be on the lower end of conscientiousness because his occupation is rather unethical. However, he displays that he is reliable and that he did not give out information about his boss, and he must have been rather efficient and productive considering the large amounts of money which he obtained from doing what he did. You are able to see that he made large amounts of money through the car he drives and the apartment he lives in. The next of the big 5 personality traits is extroversion, which has to do with how sociable, talkative, active, outgoing, confident, and fun-loving an individual may be. It seems that before being told that he was going to jail, Monty was incredibly extroverted, and this is depicted by the way he interacts with his friends, how he approached his girlfriend when they first met, and when he goes into the club and knows many of the people there based off of what one of the other characters said. With that being said, when he found out he was being arrested, it seemed to make him more reserved than he was before, and you can see that through his interactions with his girlfriend in the beginning of the movie and the scenes in which he walks his dog alone. The next big 5 personality trait is agreeableness, which pertains to an individual's ability to be friendly, warm, trusting, generous, and good-natured. Monty is on the lower side of agreeableness, and one may view this through the way that he interacts with his girlfriend, or the scene where he is cursing at all the different people of New York. The last of the big 5 personality traits is neuroticism, which is how anxious, worrying, tense, emotional, and high-strung a person can be. Considering that he is about to go to prison and may have things in his life change, Monty is incredibly worrisome about the future and how he would be treated while he was in prison. Based off of all the interactions and tendencies I viewed, I am diagnosing Monty with borderline personality disorder, which is in the DSM-5's Cluster B category. Borderline personality disorder is characterized by a pervasive pattern of instability of interpersonal relationships, self-image, and effects, and marked impulsivity that begins by early adulthood and is present in a variety of contexts. Suicidal gestures are also associated with this disorder. There were a multitude of events throughout the movie which led me to this conclusion, but 2 symptoms in particular were blatantly depicted. One of those symptoms was Monty's suicidal behavior, which was depicted by the way he went about his relationship with his girlfriend. She explained to him in one scene that they barely talked anymore, and he barely even looked her in the eyes, which was very uncharacteristic of him. In the same scene, he gestured at the idea of killing himself rather than going to prison, as that would have been a quote-unquote quicker way out. The other symptom that he manifested throughout the movie was a persistent anxiety. There were multiple instances throughout the movie that Monty explained to his dad or his girlfriend or one of his friends how anxious and worried he was about going to prison. One instance in particular that sticks out to me was when he was confiding in his close friend Frank about how much anxiety he had about going to prison, and all he could think about was how mistreated he was going to be. With all that being said, one symptom of the borderline personality disorder that Monty did not show throughout the movie was one of impulsivity in areas such as spending, sex, substance abuse, reckless driving, or binge eating. The treatment plan that I believe would be of the greatest benefit for Monty is cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a blend of cognitive and behavioral therapeutic strategies that is problem-focused and action-oriented. The goals of this treatment consist of relieving symptoms and helping resolve problems, helping them develop strategies that can be used to cope with future problems, and to help them change irrational, self-defeating thoughts to more rational, self-helping, positive ones. The long-term outcome would be for Monty to be able to reach each of those goals on his own. This treatment would be appropriate because it will help him to resolve the current problems that he is having, and it can help him to change his thinking process, ridding his mind of those negative thoughts. Some treatment problems that may arise could be a lack of implementation by Monty, therefore impeding his progress. Should this treatment plan not work, I think defaulting to either just cognitive or just behavioral therapy would be the best options, depending on what would best fit Monty's needs, considering the issues he was having with the first treatment. I think the film did a good job of portraying this particular disorder. The film included multiple situations and dialogues which allowed the viewer to come to a firm conclusion on the personality disorder of the character. The portrayal of psychological disorders in film may not always be completely accurate, which may give viewers false information, or it may exaggerate symptoms or overall disorders in order to get a greater appeal. While this may be good for the movie, it can be of detriment to society as they are receiving misinformation and perceiving it as truth. Thank you.